Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk. It is once again time for another edition of Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our channel. That way you can keep up with every episode as well as the 2,000 other videos that we have here for you and your viewing pleasure. Today's short story review will be of the Laurel and Hardy love affair. First published by Bradbury in Playboy 1987. You know, I was never a Playboy reader, but judging by the number of classic stories that went through that magazine, maybe what they say about reading it only for the articles is somewhat true. So the Laurel and Hardy love affair is a romantic comedy short story. A man and a woman meet at a cocktail party, sort of slip out of the crowd, which they weren't enjoying to begin with, and go on a whirlwind one-year love affair. The first thing they do together is that becomes sort of their thing, is they climb and descend the 150 steps that Laurel and Hardy famously took a piano up and down in a famous sketch. She starts calling him Ollie, he starts calling her Stan. But at the end of the year, she proposes to him and things fall apart. It is at this point when they realize that she works for a travel agency and will be leaving soon. Meanwhile, his job at an advertising agency keeps him locked in place. She offers to basically fund his life for the next couple of years while he instead writes a novel and basically gives him an ultimatum. Come with me now, walk out this door, or I'm leaving in 60 seconds, or it's over. He misses the call, he doesn't leave the room, and their relationship ends. For the next few years, he goes back to the steps where they first had their original date. And then after a few years, he stops going. He stops reliving that past. Doesn't see her again. And then one time, 15 years later or so, he's traveling in Paris with his family, and he passes her and her family walking down the street, and she whispers something about Stan and Ollie, and sort of the whole love affair finally comes to an end. It's a neat little story, you know, not a huge amount of stuff to sort of sink your teeth into, but it's cute, kind of romantic, would make a great movie if you padded it out a little bit, expanded it. Sort of a rom-com, but like more of like a classier rom-com, more like When Harry Met Sally than like some of these more recent pieces of fluff. But not a bad tale altogether. I think that I probably would enjoy it a little bit more if I knew more about Laurel and Hardy. I unfortunately don't have a wide knowledge of their work. I am, after all, 37 years old. A little bit that's sort of my wheelhouse, but probably if you do have a knowledge of their work, you get even more out of it than I did. But it's still, yeah, you know, a fun little story, worth the 10 minutes that it takes you to read it. I highly recommend it, so put it on your reading list. I will be back again soon with more reviews from Bradbury Stories, a collection of 100 of his favorite stories as picked by him in the years before his death. A lot of great tales in there. So far, we've reviewed 15 or 20 of them, which means we have 75 or 80 of them left to go. And I'm going to look at all of them here one by one on Let's Talk, along with doing a lot of other projects that you should be interested in. Oh, and before I go, just want to remind you to check out the video I did the other day, a review of my sister's first novel. When you check out that video, you can actually go down to the description and find a link to where you can purchase it. But yeah, other than that, once again, please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.